Stefanie Mosca. We're here in Austin, Texas at IT Expo West 2011, and I'm joined today by Karol Waldron, Business Development Manager for Sagemcom. Karol, how are you today?
I'm well. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you for joining us. So who exactly is Sagemcom?
Sure. Sagemcom is actually a very large European conglomerate. If you think of us as somewhat akin to Philips or Siemens, you're on the right track. We have a very diverse product portfolio that spans everything from energy to telecom, broadband, cable switching, you name it. And under that very large umbrella is the software group to which I report, called either Sagemcom Canada or Sagemcom USA. We are the software development group here in North America responsible for manufacturing all the software for the company, specifically fax-related technologies. We've been in the market for roughly 20 years, manufacturing a variety of different fax products under a variety of different brand names. But it was around 2002-ish timeframe that we started recognizing the wide-scale emergence of voice-over IP systems. And at the time, all of our products relied on third-party hardware in order to send and receive faxes. We needed fax cards or modems, maybe ATA devices. And given where the industry was going, both with voice-over IP and virtualization, we decided at that time that our products really weren't a very elegant fit given where the market was going. So we went back to the drawing board, totally rewrote our product from scratch, and in doing so, bundled into the product something called our T38 protocol stack. It's essentially the protocol required in order to reliably run faxes over a voice-over IP network. What's unique about us is that that stack is in our software, so we're truly a single source, software-only solution for fax over IP. So ultimately what that means is that you can drop our product XMedia's fax either on a native Windows server, on a virtual machine, something like VM, Hyper-V, Citrix if you choose. There's even a version of our software that can sit on a Cisco router if you choose. At the end of the day, we really don't care. You can throw us anywhere out there on the enterprise, point ourselves to a T38 compliant voice over IP system, maybe a Cisco call manager, or maybe a VIA communication manager, or a Mitel, and so on and so forth. And in doing so, we can just leverage all the call control and routing capability inherent in those products for fax in addition to voice.
Could you elaborate a little bit on your XMedia's product?
Sure. XMedia's fax is a fax over IP solution. It allows users to send and receive faxes from their desktops via a print-to-fax client, from their email clients, from a web-based client. The product also integrates quite nicely with back-end applications, so we can do things like automate faxing off back-end systems. We can integrate via IP with all the popular multifunction printers on the market as well. So at the end of the day, we can connect to just about any device and fax enable it. It's a very sticky technology.
And faxing in general has definitely evolved over the years. Can you tell us a little bit about why it's still important in the industry today?
Sure. You know, it's funny because I travel a lot for work. Inevitably, I end up sitting next to a seatmate on an airplane who inevitably asks the question, what do you do for a living? And when I tell them I work for a fax technology company, they really give me a look of like, really? You're not out of business or you're not unemployed. You know, at the very heart of the matter, believe it or not, fax is still proliferating and growing at a rate of 20% annually. It's a very reliable, very secure, very easy method of getting documents from point A to point B. So true, back many years ago, we were relying on fax machines, then on very application-heavy fax software, and now more so, like with products with XMedia's fax, our products are what we call infrastructure grade, meaning we just leverage the investment in the infrastructure that our clients have already made. So there's a definite trend towards the IP side of the business.
And on the opposite side of that, what challenges do you see customers running into today that the company definitely provides resolutions for?
Sure, there are a variety of different things. Number one, unified communications, always a struggle for companies. By integrating voice, fax, and email into a common receptacle, again, we kind of solve that unified communications challenge. Given the economy, of course, cost reductions are always a concern. So by eliminating a lot of the traditional and legacy telecom equipment and on-premise equipment that was once required for fax, we of course eliminate that, and in turn there's a tremendous ROI with that. With the emergence of a lot of regulatory and compliance issues that drive IT solutions today, likewise, because our solution is so scalable, we can help folks with things like SOX compliance, HIPAA compliance, so on and so forth.
Great. And I'm sure with the evolution of fax, it's and the advancements of technology and software today, it's only going to continue evolving. So where do you see FOIP going in the near future?
Continuing to grow, believe
Yeah.
it or not. Again, going back to the concept that it's growing 20% annually. What we're seeing is that things have changed. Here at the show, certainly there's been a lot of chatter about the cloud. Certainly, too, the downed economy is certainly helping that. Folks don't want the capital expenditure of in-house solutions, so oftentimes there's a shift towards the outsource market. Our product was actually designed specifically for a very large service provider at one point. So what we find is that a lot of our customers are actually purchasing our software, housing it in-house, and then selling fax as a service to their customers, much as is the case with a lot of hosted VoIP providers in the market. We're also seeing a tremendous emergence of SIP, which is, of course, always fun to play with. As SIP starts to emerge, most of the major carriers are starting to support T38. So in turn, many more of our deployments moving forward are integrating in that type of SIP-based model as well.
Great, and we've talked a lot about a lot of market trends and challenges, but why don't we talk a little bit about the exact plan for Sagemcom in the near future?
Sure. We have a lot of really exciting plans. We recognize that fax is usually the beginning of just a much larger business process, typically a workflow process, whether it's receiving a patient prescription, a loan application, whatever the case may be. So with our next release, we're really excited in that we've built in a lot of features that are going to improve that user experience in the workflow process. In the next release, we're doing things like adding barcode routing. So inbound faxes can be recognized via a barcode, maybe on a standardized form, and routed to the intended recipient automatically. We are adding features into the product so that our documents will be searchable PDFs, as an example. Where Microsoft is concerned too, we're in play with them quite a bit as well. We'll be releasing a SharePoint connector in the first half of 2012 so that documents can be automatically routed to common directories in SharePoint. And likewise, we're of course taking a really close look at Office 365 and Azure, and I expect some pretty exciting announcements in those arenas too.
Great, well, it's good to know that the market is actually evolving and changing, and we're not, going to need to get rid of fax anytime soon.
Oh, we are not.
So thank you so much for your input today and for being here today, Karol.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.